This picture illustrates the journey to reproductive justice. First, you will see in 1873, the Comstock Act is passed. In 1916, the first birth control clinic opens in 46th Amboy Street in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn, New York. In 1960, the FDA approves the birth control pill. In 1965, Griswold versus Connecticut ruled a landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision that ruled the Constitution to protect the rights to privacy. The women's liberation movement of the late 1960s and early 1970s was a second wave of feminism. It fought against second-class citizenship, cultural sexism, and unequal treatment in the home, workplace, and society. Roe v. Wade in 1973 was a landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision that established a constitutional right to abortion nationwide. This slide shows the effectiveness of the reproductive rights movement. In 1916, it started the national conversation about reproductive freedom, challenged laws and social taboos, and laid the foundation for future reproductive rights. In the 1960s, it gave women more control over their bodies and futures, expanded legal privacy rights, and increased opportunities in education and careers. 1973, Roe v. Wade, major legal victories for reproductive rights, reduced deaths from unsafe illegal abortions, and it expanded access to health care in the United States. From the 1980s to the 2000s, the effectiveness increased public awareness of women's health issues, improved access to reproductive health care, stronger networks of support and advocacy were prominent, and in the 1990s to the present day, more inclusive and intersectional movements occurred, broader focuses on the right to have children and not to have children, and parent in safe environments. Stronger community and leadership advocacy was also prevalent. In 2022, movements have transformed laws, public opinions, and healthcare conversations and mobilized new perceptions of activism.
How you doing, Remington? Thank you. Good afternoon. Appreciate you joining us today in the conversation and a topic that is near and dear to, I know, your heart and my heart. As it pertains to women, I feel like they get the short end of the stick constantly, all the time. There's always a battle for, whether it's equal pay or bodily autonomy. So the people that are watching this video now, they don't know you the way I know you, right? And I know that you helped produce an important documentary called The Ebony Canal, and it addresses the topic of birthrights and the inconsistencies when it comes to Black and Brown community and underserved communities when it comes to proper health care. I just wanted to just discuss briefly, when considering being a part of such a project and you being able to reflect from your personal experience and having experienced producing this film, can you reflect on that, when it pertains to the subject of women's rights and bodily autonomy?
Well, first off, let me thank you, Carlos, for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Any chance I get to talk about women's health, especially Black and Brown women, I always jump to the opportunity, so thank you. So the film is called The Ebony Canal. It's a documentary dealing with Black maternal health and infant mortality. It follows four mothers, Alana, Rachel, Larissa, and Mariah. And unfortunately, one of the mothers lost their child soon after giving birth. And so for me, being the audio engineer, being responsible for capturing the vocals of these women telling their stories, sitting there and getting a very intimate just view and just participating, it was very impactful because I have sisters who gave birth. I have aunts that gave birth. My mom gave birth to me. So it's, number one, very personal. And number two, it's a subject matter that should matter not just for women, not just for Black and Brown, but for men, no matter the color, and for other women, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. Because they're in this too. They just don't suffer and experience it at a higher rate than Black and Brown. So this is something where we need all hands on deck. And so for me, hearing the stories once again and hearing what they had to go through, it just made me realize how much work we have to do in this department, and how much I have to be more aware of telling the stories and being an advocate for Black and Brown women. So when it's released, I'm hoping that it raises awareness and that everybody get a chance to see exactly what it's like to go through that 9 month journey. And I was happy that we got an opportunity to speak to doulas and OBGYNs and midwives and physicians and statisticians and just people that had, there's a woman named Kim Sellers. She created an app called Earth, which is basically the Yelp for maternal birthing mothers, where you go in there and you give a review of the hospital and the doctor and what kind of care you had. And so to me, that's powerful to even think of something like that to create to help women moving forward to know exactly which hospitals may give you the best quality of care. So it was just a really, really amazing experience just traveling around the country for the past 3 years. And I'm just excited for the world to see this documentary.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I know the data shows that Black and brown women are more likely than most, right, to experience complications either during birth or while going through their pregnancies. I know you speak to a lot of what it means, the perspective of the male, right? And when you engage with the people that participated in this film, can you speak to your experience, like when you were growing up? Like, did any triggers come along the way? Like, did something click when you were helping produce the film, with regards to like the woman's experience, and then those trials that women have to endure throughout?
Yes, absolutely, because it made me think about my mom and what complications she might have went through. And it's unfortunate that she passed away before I can even think about asking her, hey, what was your experience like? What was the treatment like? Were you high risk when having me? And so sitting there listening to the mothers tell their stories, that's right where my mind went to. What did my mom go through? And then of course, like I said earlier, I think about my sisters and my aunts and my female friends. What did you all go to? That's a story that now I am very interested in because now my awareness has increased.
Mhm.
When it comes to men, what I like about this film, we also interviewed fathers. Fathers can't sit on the sideline. Y'all can't be on the bench. Y'all got to get in the game too. Your wives and the mother of your children are not alone in this fight, in this plight, you know. So I was happy that we got perspectives from both the mom and the fathers. And the fathers had a lot of great things to say. And they too, you know, wants to be right there with their wives being an advocate, because this film, if it's anything that it shows, is that Black women, Black and brown women need advocacy.
I completely agree. It goes back to the notion of like back in the days when the men would wait in the waiting area and they weren't allowed in a room. Um, and then obviously, there might be biases depending on where you're at, right? Because you don't know what's happening. But then obviously, a certain demographic might get better care, than others. I appreciate you taking the time. I know the film is The Ebony Canal. Please, if you can share where people can watch it, so they can look it up and experience the work that you helped to do to put this film together.
So you can go on www.theebonycanal.com. You can also go on Instagram and Facebook, The Ebony Canal, TheEbonyCanal.
I appreciate you taking the time, Remington. Thank you so much. We look forward to
Yeah,
seeing more films such as this one. As you are and I am, we are advocates for the communities that we come from and that we represent in the journey to want to do better, and expect better from not just ourselves but the people that are around us. So thank you so much, and
you're
I'll
welcome.
talk to you soon.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thanks.
You too.